All right, serious in selling this bodybuilding. This is Anabolic Academy. But today I got my friend Kevin. Kevin is from India and he knows I can't pronounce foreign names for my life. So he made it easy and said, just use the English translation. But what is your real name?
It's Kalyan Krishna.
Kalyan Krishna. Okay. But he
Yes.
said, he said, since you're a goddamn idiot and you can't speak Indian, just call me Kevin. So I said, all right, you
No, no,
got it.
no, 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 no. I don't mean in
I'm
that
only
way. I
kidding.
don't
I'm only
mean
kidding.
even
But
remotely in that way.
no, of course. But no, I do. Like I screw up Hadi Chopin's name all the time. I screw up Hani Rambod's name all the time. I mean, I screw anytime I have like foreign names. If they're not like American sounding or Italian sounding, because I'm Italian by ancestry, I
Yes,
screw up
yes.
the name. So and it sometimes I'm like trying to pronounce it. So I'm like, and then I just fuck it. Then I just give them nicknames or something, and I go, oh fuck it. That's it. So good. So we're gonna call you Kevin. So Kevin is a friend of mine. He's gonna be helping me today on Anabolic Academy. So Anabolic Academy, this is where you send me questions. And
Yes.
today you'll be sending me and Kevin questions. And I answer them on bodybuilding, fitness, whatever you guys want to send me. And so how do you reach me? Instagram, Serious and Silliness, Facebook, John Livia, TikTok, John Livia, my email, Uncle John 1201 at Gmail, or my other email, John underscore Livia at Yahoo. So today, of course, we got two people that sent me questions. And the first person that sent me a question is Fran is the man. But before we get to the questions, I want to know about you a little bit, Kevin, because you have this wall of bodybuilding behind you.
Yes,
So
yes, yes, yes.
tell me how you got into bodybuilding and so on and so forth.
Uh, th- I actually I don't come from a country where bodybuilding is a big deal or big sport. Okay.
Okay.
Here the major sport or the major sport is cricket.
Ah, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Cricket is something which is like the most followed sport around here. Okay.
Okay.
But since I grew up watching action movies and professional wrestling, I was always gravitated towards the physique and develop physique and muscularity or
Yeah.
masculinity. That is what represented the epitome of something like being, for me, being cool or being cool is synonymous with bodybuilding or is synonymous with physique development. Okay.
Right.
So I was right from my high school or something, I was gravitated towards it. But yeah, to be honest, I never taken an initiative to build a physique in that way. I was kind of lazy and I was kind of sluggish in a way because I was academically very good. I
Hmm.
was one of the I excelled academically, so that I'm not trying to give an excuse, but yeah, I was not into it. Of course,
Right.
I had knowledge. I kept a record of bodybuilders, etc., etc., etc. But I never pursued it or never trained in that way.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I
So
loved basketball. I loved bodybuilding. I loved basketball growing up. Don't get
me
me
too, me
wrong,
too.
but I never, started doing anything basketball remotely. I
Yes, yes,
still,
yes,
I still watch it generally, but just
yes.
because you have an interest doesn't mean you have to participate in it. So it's fine. You
Or
know?
pursue it basically. Pursue it basically.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Cool. So how old are you, Kevin?
I'm 24.
Oh, you're a young guy. Okay, good. It
Yes,
is
yes.
growing. It is growing in the Middle East. Like we see, I know India is different, but Americans just throw India in the Middle East. Like we don't know the difference, right? So we have no clue. We have no idea. No clue. One time I dated a Dominican girl, right? She was Dominican, and
Yeah, yeah.
she asked me if I knew I think I called her Puerto Rican. That's what it was. And she got really upset. And she was like, "Do you even know what a Dominican Republic is?" And I was like, "I don't have time to dice Spanish people into sections. I don't know, right?" So most Americans don't realize that India is part of Asia. We say, "Oh, India," we think Middle East, but in the Middle East,
Yes,
it's
yes,
really
yes.
growing in Iraq, Iran. I mean,
Egypt,
Egypt,
Saudi Arabia.
yeah, even Palestine. That guy who came in, I forgot what he did Tampa last week, and he came in.
Fuda, Muhammad Fuda.
No, he's Egyptian. There's a guy from Palestine.
Uh,
Hard on. His name isn't Hard on. It's Sarhan or something like that. But I kept calling
Asra,
him.
okay.
Yeah, I kept calling him hard on because I can't pronounce his name, right? But he's excellent. So yeah, it's coming. And yeah, you're right. There's only like a handful of Indian bodybuilders. I know, I only know of one pro. I can't even remember his name. But yeah, it is what it is, man. But there's always going to be niche sports that people follow, and bodybuilding
Yes,
is one
yes,
of
yes.
those. If you ever came to the States, you'll see that bodybuilding is a very niche sport. It is not mainstream. You will not see people, they will not know the names of main bodybuilders at all. Like, they might know Bumstead and Schwarzenegger. That's it. Seriously. And
I'm pretty much aware of United States. I am a self-proclaimed Americanophile. I love United States.
yeah.
In fact, I'll be moving to United States in a year to pursue exercise science, masters in exercise science and PhD
That's
in a
fantastic,
university.
man.
Yes, yes, yes.
Congratulations. If
Thank
I
you.
if I may make if you go anywhere, uh Texas, Florida, Nevada,
Yeah.
make sure you go to a Republican run state, because the Democratic
I'm
runs, don't come to New York or LA. Forget it. Don't forget New York or LA.
Sir, I am a Republican myself.
Oh, all
I
right. Good.
am I am a huge fan of Donald Trump. I am a huge fan of Ronald Reagan. I am a huge fan of Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah,
Uh,
it's just getting like I'm in New York every day, and I see the homelessness getting
yes,
worse and
yes,
worse
yes.
and worse every
Yes,
day.
yes, yes,
Right?
yes,
It's
yes.
just it's crazy. All right, let's get into bodybuilding.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right. Let's see. Okay. Fran is the man asked me. His first question was, this is just a stupid question. I think he's messing with me. He goes, have you ever worn your old posing trunks and say to yourself that you still got it to compete? No. First of all, I don't even know where my posing trunks are. I have no idea where they are. I have no clue. I probably threw them out the day after. I have no idea. You're lucky I still have my trophies. Um, no, I don't put them on and dance around like an idiot. No.
If I'm
Uh,
mistaken, you competed in two shows, I guess, in
no, I
2012.
in 2012, but I did one in
Tri-state.
2004. Yeah, I did the
Mhm.
Tri-State and I did Muscle Beach, Jason On's
Mhm.
show. But I did a show in 2014, the Brooklyn Grand Prix, and then I did a show way back in 1999, Mr. Staten Island. So I did 4 shows, and then
Okay.
after the last one, I was like, nah, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. Forget it. I like knowing I could have M&Ms when I feel like it.
No, you had pretty decent physique, I would say.
Thank you, thank you. It's just that by the time 2014 came around, I was already 38 years old. All right. And I knew my genetic potential. I did not have the size. Back then, there was no classic. There was just bodybuilding and there was men's physique, right? They didn't come out with classic for another year or two. So
16 they came out.
16 it came out, yeah. So I knew like I can win like a local show, but I knew that if I went to the Nationals or Team Universe or Masters Nationals or the USA, I knew I was going to get crushed. And I just got to the point where I was like, why am I going to waste my time? I know I'm not going to do, for another plastic trophy, maybe come in the top 5 or top 6 if I'm lucky. Um, and I was just like, I don't want to diet anymore. I don't want to push the envelope with the drugs. I just don't want to. And I just was like, I know I'm not. Look, if I knew early on in my life that I could have been a pro bodybuilder, then it would be something different, right? Like Schwarzenegger, what he looked like at 19, right?
Of course.
It was insane. Lee Priest, you
He
knew what
was
he
it.
looked like at, it was crazy.
Yes, 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 yes.
Jake Cutler, but I didn't want to be one of those guys, and there's a lot of them in the States where they're chasing a dream to turn pro, and everything else is falling by the wayside. Your life,
Mm.
family, um, kids, career, everything else is falling by the wayside. I didn't want to be one of those people, knowing that maybe I can get a pro card, blah 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 blah. And then I was just like, nah, it's just not necessary. And even if I did, let's say for some crazy way I actually turned pro, what am I gonna
Mhm.
do? Stand next to fucking Andrew Jacked on stage? It would have been ridiculous. So I just kind of
No,
knew it
no.
was not for me. But I appreciate you knowing. That's great, man. Um,
I did my due diligence about you.
Thank you, brother. That means a lot to me. It really does, dude. Okay, next one. Is Andrew Jacked top 3 Mr. Olympia material? All right. What do you think? Do you think he's top 3 Mr. Olympia material?
No and yes.
Not yet. Yeah. Yeah.
No and yes.
No and yes. Oh, I just said not
No
yet.
and yes. No, let me explain it in
Okay.
this way. Of course, he has the potential. He has the genetic factor. Of course,
Right.
he's with the top coach Chris Acito.
Right.
There's no
Yeah.
question about it. But here's the thing. Here's the curveball, if I have to say. He's up against two, elite bodybuilders. That is, one is Hardy Chupin, the other is Derek Lansford.
Agreed.
Derek Lansford. Okay,
Yeah.
and they are symmetrical, they're proportionate, they're well balanced, right? And when you talk about conditioning, of course, no one can touch Hardy.
That's right. You're right.
He's just a freak. He's just head and shoulders above anyone.
Yeah. No,
Hmm.
I happen to agree.
Hmm.
I think he might be able to get past Nick Walker, and that's a big if. Nick Walker was
Yes, yes.
not in the Olympia last year. And the only way is if he comes in a little bit more peeled and he outshape, he obviously can outshape Nick Walker. He might be able to get past him. I think he could beat somebody like Brandon Curry only because Brandon is getting older. Um, and then you have the top three guys, and that's when it comes into question because that's when he's going to be exposed. Because next to, you know, Lewis Breed and Jordan Hutchinson and Nathan Epler, yeah, he looked like a freak. But now you got, like you said, Derek Lunsford, Hadi Chupin, and Samson Dowda to an extent. He doesn't come in the conditioning those two guys come in, but he has, like you said, it's great shape, great symmetry. He's
Oh, I
it,
forgot to mention Samson. Sorry.
yeah, no, it's fine.
Yes,
And
yes.
I think you're right. I don't think he could break the top two, depending on how Samson comes in and how Andrew Jack comes in. He might be able to take the third spot, or fourth spot, depending on where Nick lands too. You gotta remember Nick wasn't in the Olympia last year. So yeah, I agree. I agree fully with you. But if he takes another year and puts another another few pounds on, if he because he put on close to 20 pounds in this year. If he does that again, or put on another 7 or 8 more pounds, and he could come in the same conditioning and not blow his waist out, then he can be as freaky looking as Derek and Hadi. But this year, I agree with you. I don't think he's going to be able to beat Derek or Hadi. You know. All right. So
He has that humongous frame where he
yeah,
can fill. He's I think 6'1" or 6'2", I guess.
yeah, he's a big dude. Yeah, yeah.
I'm 6'2". I'm 6'2" myself.
Okay.
So yeah, I can relate it myself.
Yeah, he did his due diligence, man, and he, like you said, he's got Chris Aceto, and he did fill that frame out a lot.
Yes,
But
yes, yes,
Derek and Hadi are special. They're not elite bodybuilders. They're special bodybuilders. They have everything.
yes.
Like they're flawless. And like you said, the only thing like maybe Derek is a little bit off only when he stands next to Hadi is like conditioning. And that's only because Hadi's older and he has that hard, grainy, elderly muscle that you could see
Mature muscle.
mature muscle, right?
Mature
That you could
muscle.
see everything. And I think that will happen to Derek sooner or later. He's a very young man. I don't even think he's 30 yet. I'm not sure.
It's 31. 31 is.
He's 31 now? Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, he's 31. So, all right. So you have a list of questions. So
Yes, yes, yes,
that I sent you. So
yes.
those questions are from Kevin underscore cross 007 from Instagram. And why don't we read off those questions? You could read off the questions. I don't know. He sent a bunch of them. So I don't know if we're going to get to all of them, but we'll get to, a few of
As
them.
many we can.
Right.
As many as we can. Okay. Okay. The first question is bodybuilders with best body parts.
That's a tough one. You know who I missed last week? Somebody else asked me this. Triceps, I missed uh who was the guy that was coached by grandma?
Uh, Rolly Winkler,
Rolly Winkler. Rolly Winkler's triceps were insane.
no doubt.
Insane. I'm still going with legs with Tom Platz.
Chest,
Tom Platz.
chest, chest. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That goes without
There's no.
saying. 100%.
Even
Shh. Go ahead.
Sergio Oliva had very good pectoral development. Sergio
That's
Oliva.
right. You're 100% right. Sergio had great
Sergio
chest. Yeah.
Oliva. Lee
What
Haney
about
had very good chest development.
That's right. Now, what about shoulders? Who do you think had great. I mean, shoulders is really that's a lot of good people.
Kevin Levroni
Kevin
had
Leroy had great shoulders.
shoulders.
Um,
Paul Dillett,
Paul Dillett, yes, Paul Dillett had good
Paul Dillett,
shoulders. There's a
he's
lot
a
of guys like it's tough to narrow down shoulders for being the best.
Nasser Al Sambati. He had.
Nasser in 1997 was probably his best look ever, and when he should have won the Olympia, as far as I'm concerned. But
I agree. I agree with you.
yeah, he was phenomenal that year. Yeah, his shoulders were great. There was a young Swedish kid who retired early. It was 2012. I can't remember his name. I mean, 2012. Listen to me. He was in the 212 category. And I had him on once after he retired. I can't remember his name. He had fantastic shoulders. I can't remember his name for the life of me. Oh God, it's gonna kill.
I can't. Even I am unable to recall.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure of his name, but I know he retired when because everybody was like this in 212. This was like maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah, this was before COVID. So maybe 5 or 6 years ago, this kid, everybody was talking about him. I can't remember his name. And he was from Sweden and he was young and everybody was talking about him. He had amazing shoulders and amazing everything. And then he just decided he didn't want to do it anymore. And I actually had him on and I can't remember for the life of me what the hell his name was. I don't know if anybody remembers or knows what I'm talking about. He was also on Fuad actually interviewed him too right after me during that time. But it was on my old channel. It wasn't when I had the bodybuilding channel. It was on I had the regular Serious and Silliness channel when I was doing
Mm-hmm.
like a variety channel. But all right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so shoulders we could say Nasser was great. Uh okay, so triceps I'm still going with Rolly Winkler. Who else? Back, I'm gonna go with Joel
Ronnie
Stubbs.
Col-
Ronnie
Ronnie
Coleman's back.
Coleman,
Yeah, Ronnie's Coleman back was next to me.
Dorian Yates,
Oh yeah, Dorian Yates.
Lee
Um,
Haney.
Lee Haney. Yeah, Lee Haney for his time was amazing. Lee Haney doesn't get enough credit as far as I'm
Yes,
concerned.
yes, yes. I was about to say this. I was about to say this.
Yeah, he doesn't get enough credit as far as I'm
Yes, yes.
concerned. It's just that Dorian just broke the mold. Dorian just it's kind of like you had Dorian and then you had Ronnie and then you had Jay Cutler and Jay Cutler was kind of a
Phil
step
Heath,
down. Jay Cutler was kind
followed
of
by Phil Heath.
right, then Phil Heath.
Mm.
Jay Cutler was kind of a step down, but Jay Cutler was able to utilize social media and his personality to keep on uh his name in the bodybuilding scene. So people know who Jay Cutler is right now. Lee Haney doesn't really do that. Lee Haney doesn't put up old stuff of him training or so on and so forth. And I don't know how much there was of him training back then as far as videos. So
Jay Cutler, according to me, he's a very smart human being and he has got a great business acumen.
oh, big time.
Great
Yeah.
business acumen. And,
Yeah.
you know, I think you may be aware of this. He was the first guy to push this supplement envelope to a whole new level.
Okay.
You know,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
of course, before him, there was Labrador, there was Gaspari, but he was the guy after his retirement or into his final years,
Mhm.
he pushed this supplement envelope to a new level.
Yeah. No,
Jay Cutler.
yeah, I agree. And I interviewed him, and the first part of the interview was about how he made his money, not about bodybuilding. And he went into what he invested in real estate, his supplement company, his clothing company. A lot of it was real estate. He's a self-made millionaire. He's probably one of the wealthiest guys from bodybuilding that made his money just through bodybuilding and investments. Like Schwarzenegger, obviously, but he blew
If
up with
if
movies.
if I am mistaken, he's the second wealthiest bodybuilder in the
Yeah,
bodybuilding fraternity. First, of course, is the
it's
greatest
Arnold.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're right. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So what other body parts? Biceps, you can go Lee Priest, you can go Ronnie Coleman. I mean, you can go
Uh,
Phil. There's so many.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnold had great biceps. You're right. You're right. Absolutely. Okay. Let's see. Hamstrings. I'm actually gonna do this. Hamstrings, I'm gonna go. I know nobody's gonna hamstrings, I'm gonna go King Kamali. King
Yeah, I was about to say this.
King Kamali had great hamstrings and Hadi Chopin's hamstrings. It's just fucking just meat that hangs off this. It's unbelievable. His side shots are unbelievable.
Ronnie Coleman.
Ronnie Coleman had great hand. You're absolutely right. Ronnie Coleman had great hamstrings.
Phil Heath.
Uh, yeah, Phil Heath is starting to get his just due now. Phil Heath is people are starting to realize how great Phil Heath was now. He was one of the best ever, you know. Okay, what else we covered? We did back, shoulders. Uh,
Abdomen.
oh yeah, abs. Oh God, who had the best abs? That's a tough one.
Sean Ray.
Sean Ray. Okay, yeah, I could see that.
Serge, Serge Nubret.
So, oh,
Good old
yes,
bodybuilder. Serge
yes,
Nubret. He was a
yes,
phenom. My God,
yes,
he
he
was just a
was.
phenom.
I'm trying to think of who has great abs like, and that Andrew Jack has great
Uh,
abs, but I'm trying to think of like you look at his abs and you go, wow, that's impressive. Man, I can't think of
uh,
anybody now. Shit. I don't
Samir
I don't
Banot. Samir Banot.
Samir, but oh yeah, yeah, okay. Samir had a great back shot too.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, great. And let's see, calves. You know, from my opinion, calves is Mike Matarazzo.
Dorian Yates.
Dorian Yates, yeah, 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 yeah. Did we
Flex
cover?
Lewis.
Oh yes, you know it's another guy. There's so many guys, man. I keep forgetting. Flex Lewis. Do we cover all the body parts? I think so.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Forearms.
Forearms. Frank McGrath. That's all he
Frank
had, really.
McGrath.
Yeah. Lee
Dorian
Priest.
Yates. Lee
Yeah.
Priest.
Yeah. And even
Uh,
Phil Heath had great forearms too, especially
Phil Heath. With
his
which
upper
in which in
forearm.
yes, yes,
Like
yes,
this
yes.
part of his forearm was insane. Uh, all right. What's the next question?
Uh, Best bodybuilding coaches from the beginning.
Oof, that's a rough one. Bodybuilding coaches didn't start. Okay, I'm gonna go with the right off the bat. I'm going with Milos, Aceto, Farah, and Ramrod. I call him Ramrod because I can't pronounce his name. Those four off the bat for me are the goats. Before like the 2000s, people really didn't use. Oh wait, I'm forgetting what's his name. The guy who trained Ronnie.
Chad Nichols.
Chad Nichols. I'm forgetting Chad
I
Nichols.
have his picture here. You can see.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's right. That's right.
I'm a
Chad
huge
Nick.
fan of Chad Nichols.
Oh yeah, I forgot about it. Totally forget because he doesn't really do much with training people too much anymore. I know he was training Big Rammy for a little bit, but I don't know. Aceto and Milos seem to have are at the top of the mountain as far as I'm concerned. Farrah kind of fell off a little bit, but in his defense, he did have cancer and he had to fight cancer and beat cancer and
Yes,
whatnot.
yes, yes.
But Aceto, I mean, what Milos did with Sampson and what Milos did with Tabani and what Aceto did with Andrew Jack and Jay Cutler, he trained Jay Cutler for that 2009 comeback when after he lost to Dexter.
And
No, I'm
Ram.
wrong. I'm
No, no,
wrong.
no. Hani was the guy who
Yes,
trained
you're
Jay
right. He
Cutler.
left. He left Aceto, went to. You're
Yes.
100%
Went to
right.
Ramrod.
Yes,
Yes, yes, yes.
yes. So yeah. Um, so Aceto. Let's see. Who else did he train? He trained Cedric McMillan, which is kind of
Yes,
sad. He died early.
Cedric McMillan.
But those three guys, I would say, are the goats. And then you got Farah and Chad Nichols. And then, you have the new guys like Matt Jensen and Tuar, Peter, whatever the hell his name is.
Matt Johnson is terrific. Matt Johnson is terrific,
Oh,
man.
fantastic. Peter Tuar, or whatever his name. I can't remember his name.
He's from Switzerland.
Who?
Peter Tuor. He's from Switzerland.
Oh, right. Yes, him.
Earlier he was a basketball guy.
Oh, okay. I
He
didn't know
was a
that.
basketball guy. He just transitioned into bodybuilding.
Ah, okay. I didn't know that. That's a weird transition because that's total opposite, right? That's like Phil Heath was a basketball player in college. And I'm like, how the hell did that happen? Yeah. Everybody. I can't, think of really anybody else off the top of my
You
head.
know what? I have to add a person. I think
Go ahead.
you might be familiar or not. His name is Mr. Vince Gironda.
What's his name?
He's Vince Gironda.
Oh,
Vincegironda.
way back when.
Way back, yes,
Yes, yes, you're right.
yes.
Vince's gym.
He Vince's gym, yes.
That's
Where
right. Yeah. You're good, man.
he
You're better at me than this shit. Holy shit. You're good.
I'm a kind of historian, Mr. John, with
Yeah, I
this.
could see that.
I follow quite a number of sports. I follow bodybuilding, I follow football, I follow soccer, I follow basketball, I follow variety of Olympic sports. I follow a lot of sports, you know.
That's fantastic. Yeah, you're better at this than me.
I
Wow. I totally
there's a lot
forgot
of
about it. Wow, you're good at this, man.
Vince Garanda, he trained the first Mr. Olympia, Larry Scott.
I can't. Wow, you're right, man. You're good at this.
Larry Scott,
Excellent.
he trained Mohammed McAway, the
Really?
Egyptian guy. Yes, yes, he trained him. He
That's
trained him,
fantastic.
Mohammed
Wow.
McAway.
See, I didn't know that. I knew once you
Oh,
reminded me about Larry Scott, I remember that, but I didn't. Wow, you're
you know,
good, man.
he was very famous or notorious for introducing quite a few exercises like Scott. You know, there was an exercise, preacher curl, what we do, that was being introduced by this gentleman, Vince Gironda.
Ah, really? Okay.
And the incredible bicep development of Larry Scott was directly attributed to that particular exercise,
Which was
preacher
what
curl,
the preacher curl. That's right.
preacher curl,
Yeah, I did.
and
Go
which
ahead.
famously also was also known as Scott curls because Larry Scott popularized it.
Oh, that's right. Man, you're fucking good. Wow. All right. Very good. All right, cool. All right.
So
What's
and
Go ahead.
besides him, he also trained array of Hollywood actors from Carl Weathers, the famous Apollo crew of Rocky, Clint Eastwood, Dennis
Really?
Hopper, sorry. Yes, 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 yes. Vince's
Wow.
gym.
You're fucking good, man. I'm glad you came on today. I would have never
Thank you,
knew
thank you.
that. Holy shit.
Vince's gym was stacked with bodybuilders, Hollywood legends, etc., etc.
That's amazing. Holy
You know,
shit.
Vince is he and you know Vince was very ill-tempered guy. You know, Vince Gironda. He was a bodybuilder himself. He trained under the aegis of Bob Hoffman. Have you heard of him? Bob
No,
Hoffman.
no, I'm embarrassed that I didn't. No.
There's nothing to be embarrassed of it. Bob Hoffman was the guy. He's from Pennsylvania.
Uh-huh.
He started a business. He started his own barbells business, and he trained the likes of John Grimek. I think he also trained another guy. If I'm unable to remember, he was a legend of his time, and the other guy was Vince Gironda.
Wow.
Vince
Shit.
Gironda passed his knowledge to other bodybuilders, these bodybuilders, and there's an interesting anecdote. When Arnold Schwarzenegger, when he came to United States for the first time, all the way from I think he came all the way from London or Germany, because at that time he was training under the aegis of his mentor, Mr. Reg Park.
Okay, yes, you're right. I saw the documentary. You're right. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Yes, yes, Reg Park, and Reg Park is incredible, man. Reg Park is incredible. He trained under, and when he entered the Vince's gym, I think he was reigning Mr. Universe, Mr. Universe or Mr. Universe, I guess. It
Yeah, I
was
think it's Mr. Universe. Yeah.
1969, I guess. 1969. Yes,
Wow.
I'm not wrong. If
I
I'm
know
if
you're
I'm
not.
in
I'm not. You're not wrong. Go ahead.
he entered the Vince gym. Okay, he entered the Vince gym, and he was this cocky young Austrian kid.
Right.
He extended his hand to the Vince. He said, "Hi, hello, Vince. I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger, two-time Mr. Universe or something." And Vince just had, just stared at him, and he was like, "You look like a fat fucking pig."
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah,
back then Arnold's physique was huge. He did not have that finesse. He did not have that look to him. And European bodybuilding was all about size, and
That's right.
American bodybuilding was all about finesse, all about that definition.
That's
No
right.
wonder Arnold lost his first two competitions to Chet Horton and Frank Zane, if you remember,
Yes.
where Chet Horton and Frank Zane, they of course they cannot outmuscle this behemoth of a guy, but
Right.
they did out conditioned him. They did out they had better quality to their muscle, which Arnold lacked.
That's
And
I.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, he was disheartened. He was very much disheartened by this.
Yeah, it was like welcome to the NFL, rookie. Right. Yeah, it's
Welcome to
funny.
the.
It's like everything you're saying, not everything. There's the a couple of names escape me. I don't know where they are, but everything you're saying when you're saying it, I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I remember that. Well, I remember reading about it or remember watching a video on it. Yeah, and you have it like down. You're fucking good, man. I'm glad you came on the show. Do me a favor, don't start a bodybuilding podcast, okay? because you wind up. Yeah. What's the next question? We'll do one more because it's already 9:30.
Once, sorry. Uh, where it is. Rise of European bodybuilding coaches in the modern era.
You know what? You take it, man. But European could also mean, Ukraine, and could also mean, Chechnya. It could mean Eastern Europe. You know what I mean? So,
And on top of my head, Chechnya is a part of Russia. Okay, Chechnya is
right.
part of Russia. Russia.
Okay.
On top of my head, I can think of two coaches. That first would be Boss of Outlaw. I
Yeah.
forgot his name.
Okay.
Stefan Kenzel. Stefan Kenzel. He's from Austria.
Okay.
Stefan Kenzel. The second one is Patrick Tor, which we discussed moments ago.
Right.
They are just they have some top elite bodybuilders under their ages who are training with them. If I you know if you know Some of the names are Wesley Weisers,
Mm.
the new classic physics sensation, Wesley Weisers from Netherlands.
Okay. Go ahead.
uh, the other guy, his name is Miracle Bear. I'm unable to remember his name.
Okay.
He's from Germany. He's a classic physics guy.
Okay. The
And
212 guys I was thinking of before, because you just remember I just can't,
yes,
was
yes.
Nicholas Voliad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he retired out of nowhere.
I heard his name. I heard his name. I heard his
Yeah, let me see. Actually, you know what? Let me see if I can pull it up. Because he was from Sweden, which is
name.
obviously Europe. Let me see if I could pull this up quickly. Uh, all right, here we go. This is the guy I was thinking about before. Obviously, not him, but okay, let's say Nicholas Foliat. Here he is. All right. This is the guy I was thinking of. He looked like here, this is I don't know if you could see that.
Wow.
Yeah, and he retired, I want to say 2000 like 19 or
He's
2020.
he reminds me that compact version of Kevin Levroni.
Yeah, yeah,
Compact version of Kevin Levroni.
let me see if I can get a good shot. I gotta go all the way back. I think he's still endorsed by MHP, which is crazy that he doesn't uh compete anymore, and he's still endorsed by MHP. But let's see if I have shots of him when he competed. And like in the 212 world, he was like everybody was talking about him. And then all of a sudden he decided that, yeah, here it is. He decided that, I don't want to do this anymore. So this was 2018
Beautiful
Portugal
physique.
Pro. Yeah.
Beautiful
And
physique.
his shoulders were just phenomenal. And I remember his shoulders being out of this world. I'm trying to see if I have a good oh, here we go. It's a little better. It was a little off on that one, but yeah, that was the Olympia 2018 when he did the.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Yeah. All right, let's go back. Sorry. Okay, so the rise of European bodybuilders in bodybuilding. Uh, I mean, there's a lot of European bodybuilders. When we say Europe, I'm assuming the guys means Eastern Europe, because that's where a lot of them are coming from now. You have Grizzo, and you have the guy who moved big what's his name? Not Big Vito, or Vito, the guy who moved from Russia to Brazil.
Russia to Brazil.
Yeah, what's his name? I don't think his name is Vito, but let me see. What's his name? Good Vito. That's it. Sorry. Good Vito. Yeah. Vitali Ugel. I can't pronounce his name. Forget it. But his last name is Vitali. Good Vito. He came from Russia. He lives in Brazil now. Who else? As far as Eastern Europe, because I'm assuming that's what he means, because that's where a lot of them are coming from now. There's a lot of guys from Eastern Europe. As far as Europe, when you think of Italy and France and whatnot, Italy, you have two Italian bodybuilders that are really good. And Andrea Presti.
There's an Italian guy who qualified for this year's Olympia. I am unable to remember, recall
Yeah,
his
so
name.
there's two of them, Andrea Presti and
Yes, yes, yes.
Andrea Muzzilla. Those are two guys from Italy, and I'm trying to think of who else. Um, like today, guys I'm doing this off the top of my head. Unfortunately, I'm sure there's plenty of guys. But yeah, for me, as far as when he says Europe, it looks like they a lot of them are coming from Eastern Europe. So, but all right, let's do one more question, and then we'll call it quits.
Okay. Uh, I'll choose a random one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Uh, Strongest bodybuilders of all time.
Oh, Franco Colombo, he's in there, no question about it.
Franco Colombo.
Um,
Actually, there's
go
another.
ahead.
There's a guy from I think way before Arnold. Sir, his name is Marvin Eder.
Mm-hmm. What's his
Okay,
name?
Marvin Marvineder. Marvin Eder. Okay,
Okay.
he's from New York. Okay, he passed away. I think in 2022. I guess at the age of 92.
Ah,
At the
okay.
age of 92. Okay,
Wow.
he was one of the very first bodybuilders who could bench press 500 pounds at a body weight of 180 pounds.
Really?
Yes, and
All right,
he
let
could do lateral raises with I think 100 pounds or I think 90-pound dumbbells.
Marvin, what is it?
No, you just search his name on Google, not on
Okay,
Instagram.
let's go to Google.
He passed
Uh,
away.
he passed away. Okay. Let's get this out of the way here. Google. All right, put you back.
Marvin
Uh-huh.
Eder.
EDER.
Bodybuilder. Yes,
Ah,
this guy.
okay. And he benched over 500 pounds at the body weight of 180. That's
180
insane.
or close to 200.
Wow. That's crazy. All right, let's see. Uh, is there a Wikipedia on him? There's never a Wikipedia on him. Marvin Eder by Bob. That's crazy. Okay. I want to acknowledge the passing of Iron Game legend Marvin Eder, February 1st, 2022, at the age of 90. Marvin was known as the Biceps from the Bronx. Wow, he was from the Bronx. That's like 15 minutes from me, and was one of the greatest figures in the history of the physical culture. Wow, man, you're good at this shit, bro. You really are. All right, I'm glad you're on. Okay,
So
so him, Franco. Who else you got?
I've got
Uh,
Bertil Fox. Bertil Fox.
who is it?
Bertil Fox. Bertil Fox.
Oh, Bird
Bertil
Fox.
Fox.
Okay, yes,
Bertil
yes,
Fox.
yes. Okay,
He was another freak.
and it
He
was
could
Greg Kovacs was one that was really strong too.
Greg Kovacs and of course yeah buddy Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you can't kind of leave him out.
Kevin Levroni. Kevin
Kevin,
Levroni was
yeah,
incredibly strong.
yeah. Today, Akeem Williams is crazy strong. Uh,
Akin
uh,
Williams is crazy
uh,
man. He's
yeah, insanely
just
strong.
insanely strong.
Who else that
And
I was thinking of? James Hollingshead is very strong today.
James Holling, yes, yes.
His deadlifting is
Branch Warren is extremely strong.
yeah. Branch was crazy strong. A lot of
Every
reps.
bodybuilder who comes out from the gym, Metroflex from Arlington,
Yeah,
is just a freak of a nature.
Johnny Jackson. That's right. Yeah,
Johnny
you're right.
Jackson, I was about to say Johnny
Okay.
Jackson. Johnny Jackson, Branch Warren. I think Johnny Jackson is one of the very few bodybuilders who excelled parallelly in bodybuilding and powerlifting.
You're right. Yeah. Yeah.
Besides,
Absolutely. Yeah.
besides, besides Stan Efferding.
Stan was
Uh,
strong as hell. Jesus, I forgot about
yes,
him. Did you ever see the video where he deadlifted 500 with one hand?
yes, I did
That
see.
was insane. All right, one last question since you know so much about bodybuilding, and I want to know, and be honest, Lee Priest. What's your overall opinion of Lee Priest
Mm,
as a
Lee Priest.
bodybuilder, not a person?
No, as a person, I will never make any personal comments on any person.
Right.
Lee Priest, of course, he's a I think one of the most genetically gifted bodybuilders to ever, you know, compete.
Agreed.
And I feel, I feel he was unfairly treated by IFBB
Agreed. Yeah.
before he could reach his potential. Because before he reached potential, but he's just, you know, a freak of a nature. I
Right.
mean, here's the guy at the age of 21 with 30-inch thighs when he walked through the Gold's gym. And you know, Jay Cutler was absolutely flabbergasted to look at, look at this freak of a nature.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah. Yeah.
know, Lee Priest was just unbelievable,
Yeah.
unbelievable. He could have he could have had at least, you know, I wouldn't say he could have won Olympia, because the one nemesis he had to deal with is with his short stature. He was
Yeah.
his high, his short stature. But yes, he could have gone and won it. Have won at least two Arnold. I think he would have had at least two or three Arnold Classic under his belt. Uh, other elite shows like New York Pro, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But yes, he was unfairly treated by, IFBB.
Yeah, I agree with everything you say. The only thing that about Lee Priest, and I'm trying to get him on. I've been trying to message him and trying to get people to reach out to him for me to get him on. He used to get so overweight in the off season. He used to get so fat in the off season. He was
Yes, yes,
not
yes.
in shape at all. And then he would try to diet down so hard. He would be, 60, 70 pounds overweight, and he would have to diet down so hard. And then it was very difficult for him to get his glutes, hamstrings in, and his quad separated. There were times where he did it, but there was a lot of times where he was very soft from the back for his hamstrings and his glutes. That's the only thing. Like, to me, it's like, I think he really rode on the fact that he was, like you said, one of the most gifted genetically bodybuilders ever.
You
But what
know,
he,
do you know something? Lee Priest was never a serious dieter.
yeah,
You
that's what
know,
I mean. Right. Yeah, exactly.
Lee Priest never took his diets as seriously as Ronnie Coleman did,
Right.
as seriously as the other elite
Yeah.
bodybuilders did.
Right.
But still, the way he looked,
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
that
absolutely.
can only be attributed to his genetics, I guess.
Yes. 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 Well, Kevin, man, it's been a pleasure.
Yes,
I
sir.
really appreciate it. That was a great episode. So
Yes, yes.
your Instagram is let me see, because I know I'm just gonna you don't
The
do you mind if I say your Instagram?
No, no, no problem. Please, please.
Yeah, your Instagram is your name. Kalen, Kalyan, Krishna, Krishna,
Yes, yes, sir.
on Instagram, and we'll definitely be in touch.
Sure.
Because you seem to be the guy who knows the history. So if I ever do a history video, I'm gonna contact you. A
It would be
bodybuilding
my
history video, I'm giving you a call, man.
Sure, sure, sure. That would be a pleasure. And first of all, I would like to also thank you for, giving me this opportunity
Of course, man. It's my
to,
pleasure.
being a part of this.
Look, man, if you watch my show, I am happy as a pig in shit. I'm glad you watch it, and you're more than welcome to come on. So,
You live in
definitely,
New Jersey, right? You live in New Jersey, right?
yes, yeah, I live in New Jersey. Yeah,
Currently, it's a Democrat state. I'm afraid to say this.
it is, and so's New York.
Phil
It's
Murphy,
crazy.
Phil
I
Murphy,
know.
Phil Murphy.
Listen,
Yeah,
if I wasn't married to my job, I would probably have moved. But unfortunately, I work for New York City, and I have
mhm.
to stay in the area in order to
Tri-state area,
a
tri-state
tri-state
area.
area. I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. There's some beautiful parts of New Jersey, and there's some beautiful parts of New York. But all in all, the crime is going up, and it's not even like it's petty crime. It's like stealing your car, breaking into houses, homelessness, things like that, like gang violence, like on the street, young kids. It's nothing
You
like
know,
or crazy organized crime, nothing like that,
you know, the first reason that can be attributed is the open border crisis, which I strongly feel.
Yeah.
Open border has to be prioritized, and it has to be sealed
Yes.
in order to, minimize and mitigate the crime.
Yeah, here and in UK in Europe too, because you see
Of
what's
course,
happening in the UK. That's pretty bad. It's
it's
very sad.
it's just travesty. It's just travesty, man.
Absolutely. But listen, brother, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming on. We'll definitely be in touch. This, of course,
Sure,
will be
sure.
out tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. I will tag you on the Instagram when I post it up.
Sure,
And
sure.
I'll send you the video. And that's it, brother. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it too.
All right, bro. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, Mr. John.